Welcome to Rauta's non-metal reviews. You might wonder why a band like Hail Conjurer is featured on non-metal reviews, because people who know the band or artist in question know that it's kind of a raw and more primitive end of black metal. Rest assured, this split has basically nothing to do with metal, even though it's partially Hail Conjurer release. Technically speaking, this is Hail Conjurer slash Metsäkirkko release. Metsäkirkko roughly translated to as forest church, which is then again a Finnish experimental outdoor music act. Hail Conjurer then again bring this primitive black metal act. Well, that should give you a little bit of idea what this Digipack CD is all about. This was originally released in 2021 as tape by even a smaller label, and now 2022 this is finally on CD version, and this is almost 70 minutes of music that cannot really be described more than as experimental type. Featuring this kind of collaboration is always interesting, at least theoretically speaking, but when it comes to the music, this is for kind of a marginal audience only, and I'll try to explain why. Maailmansyöjä, by the way, translates as World Eater. So this is the kind of a feeling you're getting from this album. Hail Conjurer and the two other guys are traveling to the forest, making some obscure sounds. You will hear piano, you will hear ambient parts, you will hear all kind of scratching noises or sounds. Sometimes they are not exactly most easy to figure out what they are all about, but there are lots of different instruments being used, and as such, this is not the music of typical thing. Here you have nice looking bottom. Yeah, that's this how the split looks on the video. Anyway, instead of putting you to Metal Archive site for Hail Conjurer, I'll just guide you to this page. There's a couple of reasons. First of all, because this is a split release. Secondly, this split is not even yet listed on Metal Archive site, so it's kind of a pointless to put you there. But here you get all the basic information. Not only it's available as digital format and compact disc, but you got the track list and you get the minimal basic information about this collaboration. But describing this one is kind of hard, because it kind of assumes you already know roughly what we're talking about. Like I said, there's no metal no metal instruments or metal parts on this album, but it's more about being experimental in nature so many ways. You have these different kind of ideas put into music, spoken parts, a little bit of singing, and then you have these more ambient parts, but also very, very experimental sources of audio. I wouldn't necessarily call them music, because it's kind of a slippery slope where music ends and where just soundscape start. Soundscape in experimental nature would be very much describing this kind of a release, because it's indeed quite different from your usual music or usual CDs you would be listening to. The ambient parts, more minimal as they are more to my liking, because I just happen to love minimal ambient in so many ways. When there are no rhythms or patterns or melodies or chords played, no vocals whatsoever, that's what is my comfort zone, so to speak, when it comes to this kind of music. When you have the more noisier parts, then it goes more away from my comfort zone. And these have both items, both worlds, so to speak. There are soundscapes which are more experimental in the sense that it could be just me, doing this kind of a sound on the table, or hitting the microphone here and just doing this kind of a drumming pattern with the plastic mug or whatever, and you just kind of put them together. Obviously, because this is more nature oriented, I'd like to think there are no plastic cups so much. Maybe it's just scratching sound of your fingertips against a tree, or maybe it's just walking in a forest or whatever. I truly don't know how these different ideas are put into this kind of album, and that's kind of the point in my opinion. Anyway, interesting collaboration in so many ways, and it's kind of fascinating how these two totally different artists have become like one unit, with this release. But like I said, this is for marginal audience only who just happen to like marginal music, experimental soundscapes and so forth. So my verdict for this is, it's not totally in my comfort zone, but I do like some parts of it quite a bit. So it depends where you are coming from. If you're expecting some kind of metal or rock music or music with, instruments, proper instruments and melodies and riffs and all that stuff, this is way beyond that and can't really recommend this to you. But if you're into something different, give this one a chance. You will find the link provided in the description box. So click it and listen to it, and then you'll know whether or not this is your thing. Thanks for watching. Should you have questions or comments, put them on the comments box below. See ya.